Hello everyone and welcome to this new video. In this tutorial, we will continue to improve our bolt gun by modeling this part of the pistol, using the same method as we used in the previous video, by extruding edges. But before that, I wanted to improve a little the object we modeled last time, like the extra thickness of the well magazine there, and also I noticed that the overall scale of the object is a bit too thick. So we will immediately correct that by scaling the object along y-axis, just a bit like that. It seems a little better, because this part must be a bit thinner than this one. Then, to model the well magazine extra thickness that we can see here, we can simply do what we learned when modeling the magazine in the video about normals. So we start by checking if the object is deformed by a non-uniform scale. And this is indeed the case because we've just scaled the object along y-axis. So, like we did in the tutorial about normals, we can apply the scale by going to the Object menu, Apply, Scale. Next, to model the extra thickness, we switch to Edit mode with Tab key. Let me first disable Faces Normals Display. It's not much useful for the moment. Then we go back to a side view, and with the E key we extrude this face. Then I select each face of the loop, and we extrude them along normals to model this extra thickness for the well magazine. Okay, now we can start the modeling of the second part. So we're going to start by deleting the old objects. So we're deleting all that, and that too, everything that can bother us. Then to create the object, to show you another way to do it, we will proceed differently from what we did in the previous video. What we are going to do is, rather than creating a new plane, orient and repositioning it again, we are going to start from an existing face. That is to say, pick up a face of an existing object. We'll pick up a face from this object. This one looks perfect. So I switch to Edit mode with Tab key. I use 3 key to switch to face selection mode. I select this face, and we're going to extract it from the object. So first I duplicate the face with Shift D. It's the same shortcut as for duplicating an object, and we'll put it here for now. Then we can extract the new face, and this will simply create a new object from it. So for that, we will use the Separate tool, which shortcut is the P key. We can separate using different ways, but there we simply want to extract the selected face. So now, if we switch back to Object mode with the Tab key, we can see we have a new object created from a face of the first object. Okay, so now we can start extruding with a side view. Oops, I forget something. We're going to widen the object a bit because this part of the bolter is supposed to be thicker than this one. Okay, now that it's done, we go back to Edit mode. Use Transparency with Alt-Z. I select all vertices and I place everything there. And here we go. Let's start our extrusions. So as we did before, we extrude an edge with the E key. We constrain along an axis with the middle mouse button, and so on. I extrude, I constrain, then I place the extruded edge. Here we have a curved shape. It will allows me to show you the bevel tool. So for the moment we extrude straight like that. And we continue to create the face loop by extruding edges. We pass by here, we pass by there, and voila! So now we will have to close the profile. What is that? Ah yes, I extruded this edge too far. We will put all that here for the moment. So we still have to close the face loop. Close each side with ingons, and create a round shape here. We will start with that by using the bevel tool. We quickly mentioned the bevel tool in the previous tutorial, but here we are going to use it intentionally. So we are going to bevel these two edges here. So first we set a side view, and let's get the bevel tool, whose shortcut is Ctrl-B. And Blender bevels the segments, that is to say selected edges are becoming faces. New faces width can be set by moving the mouse before validate the operation with the left mouse button. But we won't validate anything for now because, before validating, we can add more edges to the bevel using the mouse wheel, and that will create a round shape. I start again so you can see what is happening in perspective view. So we bevel with Ctrl B. And with the mouse wheel up I add edges, and with the wheel down I remove edges. The more edges you add with mouse wheel up, the more you will smooth the shape. We can also adjust that after having validated the operation in this panel, as well as the width and a lot of other parameters. But for now, let's leave everything as it is. It seems good like that. Now we're going to close the face loop profile. This time we're going to isolate the object with the / key to make it easier to work. So to close the loop, we could have done as we did in the previous tutorial. I select these two edges and fill the gap with the F key. But in this video, we will proceed differently to show you other tools. We will merge this vertex with this vertex there, and this vertex here with this vertex there. So to do this, we will have to place the first vertex exactly on the position of the second vertex. And for that we can enable snapping by clicking on this small icon looking like a magnet. And if we click on the button next to it, we open a menu where we can tell Blender to snap things to vertices. There are plenty of other snapping options in this menu, but I'll explain all of that in a future tutorial. So here it is. Now if I move the first vertex close to the second vertex, hop, the vertex is attracted by the other one. We can also work without having to enable snapping each time we need it, so I disable snapping and we'll use a very interesting shortcut instead. When we start the transformation, if we move the vertex to the other vertex, obviously, there is no magnetism since snapping is disabled, but while moving the vertex, if we hold the Control key, snapping will be enabled as long as we hold down Control key. And hop, the magic of magnetism operates. So now, vertices are well aligned together, but on the other hand, they are not merged together yet. Here we don't have two single vertices, but four distinct vertices. So we will start again, but this time we will enable another tool located in the option menu. You have probably noticed that the menu is not the same as usual, and indeed for the moment, we have only used the option menu in object mode. In object mode the menu looks like this. With transform effect only option we already used, but in edit mode the option menu offers other tools. And we will immediately enable one of them, the auto merge. The auto merge allows to merge a vertex with another one, if the first vertex is moved within a certain radius around the other vertex. The radius value is called threshold, and here it is 1 millimeter. Here this scene is not well scaled, so it will be hard to set threshold correctly. But if we use snapping at the same time, we could bring a vertex exactly on top of the other, so no matter the threshold value, the vertex will be automatically within the radius of the auto merge. So let's do that. We hold Control key to snap and then merge this vertex to this one. I do the same on the other side. So I move the vertex with the G key, I activate snapping with the Control key and voila! Now these two faces are welded correctly with only two vertices and one edge. Well, we're almost done. Let's now close the sides by selecting all edges on each side. As we did in the previous tutorial, we switched to transparency to select all hidden vertices, and with the F key we close the profile with the end gone. Let's do the same on the other side. Select everything and fill with the F key. And here we finished. I leave the isolation mode with the / key and voila! Our bolt pistol is getting better and better. Here we are even going to touch it up right away. We can also better center the cylinder inside the round shape we've just modeled, and adjust its size by scaling it a little along y-axis. And that's it. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching it, and I'll see you very soon.